Someone with money, preferably. I won't lie. I've thought about it already. More than once. Someone who can supply us with ingredients. Maybe an alchemist. To make the medicines. At one point, I even considered asking the Red Priests for help. But Neonte would have my head. Then I thought about Orwin and the Merchants' Union. But I can't abandon the patients. Just to have a long discussion about the business prospects of a failing hospital. Huh. What doesn't she have against them? First, she abhors the doctrine of K. On a purely theological level. Her words, not mine. And then it's all about politics. She says the influence of the Red Church is undermining the position of the All-Mother on Avalon. I don't know. Maybe people just turn to whoever is willing to help. If the priestesses aren't enough, someone has to step in. I know. That's why I'm hesitant. But some of them are also quite innovative. No one can deny that their research into the Red Death has led to real progress in medicine. I suppose, if I were ever to run a hospital with one, I'd have to make sure they don't get too ambitious. You'd do that? For me? Why? I just told you the hospital has no money. I can't pay you for your efforts. That's very noble of you. But still, when the hospital is back on its feet, I'll find a way to repay you. Thank you. Even if it doesn't work out. Your offer means the world to me. I've been alone with this for so long. It's good to finally have some hope.
Spare a coin for the hungry.
What brings you this way?
Hello again. I've got everything you didn't know you needed. She is? That's interesting news. Though I had no idea the hospital had financial problems. I thought it was funded by our brave Camelosian army. Or was it Lord Yvain? I can never remember. Who in turn dumped the entire responsibility onto her poor apprentice. That sounds like a complete disaster of mismanagement. Still, with a bit of restructuring, it might not be entirely hopeless. That said, a hospital doesn't exactly strike me as a lucrative venture, and I'm not in business for charity. When I invest, I expect a return, and here, I just don't see it. That's true. But in Connacht, people would sooner dig up their grandmother's miracle recipes than pay for something they used to get for free. I need some concrete ideas. Now that is an intriguing thought. I like it. We've healed the men here. Why not heal everything? Of course, we'll need to think about other ways to secure profits before word gets out. But you're right, the potential here is undeniable. With the right strategy, this could turn into something truly remarkable. Not just me, I hope. We'll need backing from the rest of the Merchants' Union. Start with Bonksy and Osmond, get them to join in, and talk to Irwin since we'll need an alchemist. The more support we have, the better.
What brings you this way? Got money? I've got elixirs. And I assume you're here to hand me an invitation? Let's skip the pleasantries. Why would merchants take over the patronage of a hospital? And why should I have anything to do with it? I've been having a serious problem with my supplies lately. The Red Church is hoarding every remotely valuable alchemical ingredient for themselves. Here's a list of items I particularly need. Come back when you have everything. Then I'll join this union, whatever that turns out to be. Now off with you. You've got plenty of work ahead.
Nice to see you. Always a pleasure to see you.
Got money? I've got elixirs. You finished quicker than I expected. Let me take a look. Daffodil and Mandrake. Not the finest batches I've ever seen, but they'll do. As for the Straw Child skulls, exquisite. Truly an excellent selection. My congratulations. And the Phase Blood. A rare one. Perfect. It seems that's everything. As promised, I'll join the Merchants Union in that investment and lend my resources to the hospital. I must say, it's satisfying to know the Red Priests won't get their claws on it. You're back. Good choice. What do you need?
Oh, hello there. Good to see you. I don't know. I got an offer to supply ingredients for healing potions. But honestly, that doesn't sound very exciting. My adventures are more about leaping over chasms and escaping collapsing ruins than gathering wildflowers. Maybe so, but it's still not worth spending as much time on it as Alwyn wants. I could be exploring underground labyrinths or running from guards across rooftops instead. You know what? You're right. That could work. But I can't go anywhere until I sell off all my wares. How about it? Want to take the lot? I'll give you a big discount. Yes? Did you manage to scrape together the money? Oh, I hope so. I'm starting to feel like I'm rooted to this spot. Fantastic! If you don't need something, you can always sell it later, and even make a profit. Let Alwyn know I'm in, and I can't wait for my first trip to gather ingredients. There's always treasure for those brave enough to look.
You doing okay? Hello again. What do you need today? Ha! I'm not surprised he's asking me. Without my financial backing and, more importantly, my experience, most of the guild's investments wouldn't stand a chance. They really value my involvement, and that gives me leverage. In other words, I can do a bit of bargaining. Have you heard the legend of Robbie of Grubwood? A bandit who stole from rich merchants and gave the gold to commoners. They say he was an incredible archer. At least, that's how the story goes. People say the same about me, but I'm still waiting for someone to write a song about me, like they did for Robbie. It's only a matter of time. Robbie's long dead. I heard someone in his gang betrayed him. He's buried in a tomb not far from here, along with his bow. And that bow has been on my mind for a while now, you see. According to legend, it's made from centuries-old yew, and enchanted by a druid whose life Robbie once saved. Bring me that bow, and I'll support Alwyn's investment. What do you say? That's what I like to hear. I always say sticking close to older, more experienced folks is worth it. There's so much you can learn from them. Am I right? Of course I am! What about it? You found it? Then what are you waiting for? When I was your age, I'd already have been there and back twice by now.
always a pleasure to see.
Hello. Coming back to me, I see. You must have excellent taste. What about it? You found it? Ho ho ho! Quite elegant indeed. It just needs one small adjustment. Do you know how many legends and songs I've heard about this Robbie guy? Oh, what a remarkable marksman he was. Splitting an arrow already lodged in the bullseye with his own during a tournament. What a story! But did anyone actually see it happen? Why make up nonsense when there are just as good, or even better, living archers out there? One of them lives right here in Connacht. Why not write songs about him? A bandit is a bandit, and yet here we are, turning a thief and murderer into some sort of romantic hero. Some hero. I gave my word, didn't I? And do you know who breaks their word? People without honor, thieves and bandits. No one would ever call me that. Everyone knows I keep my promises.
You doing okay?
Ah, a fine day for business. And perhaps for bargains, too. That's terrific news. I must say I'm impressed. Getting that lot to agree on anything is not a small feat. Now, we can really get started. Ailei will stay on as head of the hospital. But with steady finances and a reliable supply of medicine, it should take a lot of the burden off her shoulders. In the meantime, we'll turn this endeavor into a truly profitable business. You know, I've got to say, it's been a real pleasure working with you. The whole of Connacht will owe you a great deal. Take care out there, and good luck in your travels.
I wasn't expecting company.
Have some spare food or coin? Anything else?
Oh, there you are. I'm so glad to see you. I haven't had the chance to properly thank you for helping me with the hospital. Truth be told, it's still rather hectic here. But at least I don't have to constantly worry about money and supplies anymore. I do wish I had more time for all the patients. But perhaps, in time, we'll be able to bring in another healer, or at least an apprentice. I try. I'm still responsible for the entire hospital. But at least now, I don't feel so alone. And now that Camelot has to pay for treatments, it turns out that a hangover doesn't really require a healer's intervention after all. The residents of Connacht can still be treated for free. And I hope it stays that way. I'll definitely fight to keep it so. Not really. Everything has been going quite well. Though Legate Denham isn't too happy about this development. Oh, if you come across any herbs or potion ingredients, feel free to bring them to me. I'd be happy to buy them. Bonksy is amazing at what she does, but you can never have too much of that kind of thing.